Xylo was a being of cold, calculating malice, her form sculpted from a dark, obsidian-like metal that absorbed light. She moved with a silent grace, each step a heavy thud that promised pain. Her eyes glowed with an internal, malevolent green light, and her touch could leave metal warped and brittle. Entire cities had fallen silent under her metallic fist. The Resistance, a scattered group of scientists and former soldiers, had finally cornered her in an abandoned robotics factory. They knew conventional weapons were useless against her. Their only hope lay in a desperate, multi-pronged attack. The first stage of their plan unfolded with a deafening clang. A colossal electromagnet, salvaged from a derelict shipyard, swung down from the factory ceiling. Xylo, caught off guard by the sheer speed and power, let out a guttural metallic roar as her feet slammed onto the metal floor, held fast by an invisible, irresistible force. Her momentum carried her forward, but her boots remained glued to the spot. She yanked and strained, her metallic muscles screaming, the dark metal of her legs groaning under the pressure. Her arms flailed, trying to find purchase on the slick metal walls, but the magnetic grip was absolute. Her struggles were a frantic dance of futility, her powerful form rendered immobile from the ankles down.
Fools! Fools! You cannot contain me!
But the Resistance wasn't aiming to contain her, only to immobilize her. As she thrashed against the magnetic bonds, two figures emerged, wielding industrial welding torches. The hissing blue flames danced menacingly in the dim light. Fear, a sensation Xylo rarely experienced, flickered in her green eyes. The welders moved with grim efficiency. One targeted her arms, aiming for the joints. The searing heat of the torches met Xylo's metallic skin, and she roared in agony. It wasn't the pain of flesh burning, but the violation of her very being, the forced fusion of her limbs. Sparks showered around her as her arms were welded to her torso, locking her in a rigid, agonizing embrace. She bucked and twisted, the magnetic force still holding her feet firmly planted, her movements jerky and ineffective. The smell of ozone and burning metal filled the air. Her struggles intensified as the second welder approached her face. Xylo's eyes widened in terror. She tried to speak, to unleash a torrent of curses, but the welder was too quick. With precise, brutal strokes, they welded her lips together. The metallic shriek that had been forming died in her throat, replaced by a muffled, desperate groan. She clawed at her sealed mouth with her now immobile hands, the dark metal scraping uselessly against the welds. Her breath came in ragged gasps through her nose, her chest heaving with panicked exertion. Finally, their most audacious weapon was revealed. A massive, custom-built induction furnace, glowing with an infernal orange light. It was designed to melt down even the most resilient metals. As the Resistance members, clad in protective suits, began to maneuver the furnace towards the trapped and welded Xylo, her struggles reached a fever pitch. Her eyes darted wildly, searching for any escape. She threw her weight against the magnetic pull, her anchored legs protesting with loud groans. The welds on her arms creaked under the strain of her desperate movements. Her muffled cries were a testament to her utter helplessness. She twisted her torso, trying to break free from the magnetic grip, but it was like trying to uproot a mountain. The intense heat from the approaching furnace was intense, even from a distance. Xylo could feel her metallic skin growing uncomfortably warm. As the furnace was positioned directly in front of her, engulfing her upper body in its intense heat, a new level of terror gripped her. Her dark metal of her form began to shimmer, then glow a dull red. The melting started slowly, almost imperceptibly at first. But then tendrils of molten metal began to drip from her welded arms and torso, sizzling as they hit the factory floor. A high-pitched keening sound, a blend of metal screaming and her own muffled agony, escaped her sealed lips. Her body spasmed violently, the magnetic force still holding her feet firmly planted, her upper half beginning to liquefy. Her struggles became weaker, more erratic. Her form, once sharp and defined, was now a grotesque, flowing mess of molten metal. Her green eyes, although still glowing, were losing their focus, their malevolent light dimming as her metallic brain began to melt. The last vestiges of her will fought against the inevitable, her body twitching and shuddering as it dissolved. Finally, with a sickening hiss, Xylo collapsed, her form completely gone, replaced by a pool of shimmering, dark liquid metal on the factory floor. The intense heat of the furnace continued to radiate, slowly cooling the remains of the evil metal girl, a testament to her agonizing and complete defeat. The silence that followed was heavy. The only sound, the drip of cooling metal, a grim reminder of the destructive power that had been extinguished.